Good evening from London. Welcome to Piers Morgan Uncensored. We start with news of a secret operation inside the White House which will strike fear into the hearts of America's allies and delight its enemies. And yes, I have got that the right way around. It's called Operation Don't Let Joe Biden Fall. And it's billed as a critical project too, quite literally prop up the president. Biden's blunders and stumbles have become a crisis for his re-election campaign, with a whopping 75% of Americans now saying he's too old to lead the country. The Biden administration publicly insists the 80-year-old leader is fighting fit, and they've got the receipts to prove it. Well, sort of. He remains, of course, a keen cyclist. He has excellent spatial awareness.
2, 10, 12, 15. Oops, stepping on him. It's black. Anyway.
And he has a great sense of direction, of course.
Where is he?
But one thing they can't deny is that Biden has a problem staying on his feet. And that's the focus of the special program they've now put together. This is why they're doing it.
No matter what their cost. 2, 10, 12, 15. Oops, stepping on him. It's black. Anyway.
Well, Axios reports that top Democrats are terrified Biden will suffer a bad fall in the run-up to November's election. Their new two-pronged strategy is to both reduce the number of times Biden falls over by literally training him not to fall over, and reduce the opportunities he has to fall over. He'll now board and exit Air Force One through the lower deck, where he'll encounter fewer steps. Instead of boarding the plane like a president, he'll board it a bit like a suitcase. Initial evidence suggests that this may still be a challenge. The report says that Biden will now wear tennis shoes wherever possible instead of adult shoes, so he has better grip. He's also working daily with a physical therapist, and his doctors recommended he improves his balance by conducting proprioceptive maintenance manoeuvres. What those manoeuvres entail is unclear, but what is crystal clear is that they're all designed to desperately reanimate a president who just doesn't seem fit for the job, physically or mentally. Last night, 7 of the 8 leading Republican presidential candidates faced off in the second Fox debate. Once again, the elephant not in the room was Donald Trump, who's light years ahead in the polls. My question is simply this: surely America and the world can do better than a 77-year-old who's facing jail and an 80-year-old whose campaign strategy is don't fall over. Well, joining me now to discuss all this is a Republican strategist and former chair of the anti-Trump Republicans, Liz Mayer, the Conservative talk radio host sensation, Ben Ferguson, I think he wrote that, and the CEO of Outkick, Clay Travis. Well, welcome to all of you. A stellar panel to debate all things Trump, who is, of course, the elephant in the room. So, Liz, let me start with you. Trump is basically now calling for all Republican debates to be cancelled. Without him, there's no point. The Republican Party should save their money, invest it all in going after Biden. Meanwhile, the president is having a whole plan to try and keep him on his feet. I've got to say, from this end of the pond, this all looks a bit ridiculous. You've got a guy facing 100 criminal charges, and you've got a bloke in the office who can't barely see or walk straight. What is happening?
It's pathetic. I would just like to say at this moment that I'm British as well as American, and I am leaning really hard into being a conservative, which, given how bad our polling is, should really tell you something. No, it's pathetic. We have a nation of, 350 million people, and this is the best we can do. I'm just lucky I live in a state that nobody's going to be contesting, so I can write in whoever I want and feel good about my vote. But generally, yeah, it's a complete disaster. It's a complete disaster.
Ben Ferguson, it's a complete disaster.
Yeah, I wish you'd stop showing those videos of Joe Biden, because you're about to get rid of the candidate that I desperately want to run any Republican against. So if you'll stop doing that, and let's just say he's brilliant, let's say he's competent, let's say he is a vigorous young man, just like Ronald Reagan, that would make my life a lot easier. But the reality is, Democrats right now put themselves in a corner. If you look at Joe Biden, honestly, right, the way that you just did, you got to be sitting there going, what the hell are we doing? But they're stuck with him. And then you look at Kamala Harris. You say, okay, well, maybe Kamala will calm down people because they'll say, hey, if someone has to take over, at least they'll like the VP. The problem is her approval rating is even worse than Joe Biden's right now, which is at Jimmy Carter levels. So it's a disaster for them. As for the Republicans, look, I think any Republican, Donald Trump, DeSantis, or if somebody else comes along, I don't think it's going to happen based on what I saw at the debates last night. But if someone else came along, they all want to run against Joe Biden because there's no way he can campaign vigorously. And I don't think COVID's going to save him from doing more debates in the future. I think this guy's a train wreck and they know it.